Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course. We're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking because I be talking. And on today's episode, we're going to discuss the single epidemic. I saw a few videos on my TikTok just talking about how there's a alarming amount of single people these days. And I do agree. I know a lot of good women that are single and that are not in a relationship, and men as well. So my thing with these videos that I'm seeing is that everybody like to address like the why people are single as if people have all gone through a breakup, but they're not addressing the true issue, which is there are a lot of single people and a lot of people that have never even been in a relationship to begin with and don't even know how to maneuver in a relationship. So that's what I want to touch on. And I say this because most people, when you hear, oh, there's a lot of single people, because people don't want to fight for the relationship no more. People don't want to stay. People don't understand that you're not going to find this perfect person, which is all true. And we all know that. But we don't get to the baseline of why things are the way they are. And I am a firm believer of holding yourself accountable. So as a woman, I speak from a woman's perspective, of course, but I can observe men and see what goes wrong in the male gender as well, because even though we're two separate species, we have to learn how to come together and operate as one if we do want to promote marriage and ultimately being together and working through relationships. The first thing, and these are not in any particular order, that I can say I notice with women is a lack of standards. As women, there's a lack of standards and a lack of accountability. A man can only do what we allow, and as women as a whole, men get away with way too much. Just in general, no matter what scenario or topic within a relationship we're discussing, women aren't properly dating men and allowing men to court them. And it's so many influences with whether it's, oh, you're holier than thou or this and that, that women are just, they give too much too soon. And it makes it very hard for women that may be truly good women or good wives to find or to attract a husband, because just think about it. If you are a grown boy who has not matured yet and you're running into all of these easy women that don't require anything, waiting or anything for you to come into her life, you're going to waste all of these women time and play with all these women. You're not going to be stunning the girl with standards until later on in life, just because she's taking too much work and you got too many people out here that will just give you anything and do anything for you for little to nothing. So why waste your time on the difficult person when you could just go and get something where it's easy? But if we collectively as young women decided to have standards and, to respect ourselves and take our time and vet out men instead of just being desperate for love, because to me, a lot of women that are searching for love move out of desperation, and they don't realize it's desperation, because a lot of people have this vague idea of desperation just being like, oh, texting him all the time, calling him all the time. But sometimes desperation can be something simple, like you just met this man and you calling him babe, you calling him hun, you calling him baby. Like, you don't even, do you know his first name? Like, it's like, just calm down, be chill, and take things slow. It's as simple as that. Like, you meet a guy, you think he looks good. Okay, like, I'm feeling him. Like, take baby steps. A lot of times when you're scrolling on social media, if you see any type of trend with some black men or some men in the gym and they taking off their shirts, and it's a trend where they just showing themselves, you already know what the comments gonna look like before you even click the comments. Like, oh my God, the first one, help me find him. Oh man, I'll risk it all for the 1 6 foot, the dark skin, the curly hair. He my type. Like, I just feel like as women, you should not operate with so much thirst. Like, yeah, it's okay to admire someone's beauty, but calm down, be chill. Yes, men like words of affirmation. They like to be affirmed, but let him work his way to being affirmed. Like they ain't got to work for nothing because y'all just see him and y'all just turn into Little Miss Hot Pocket. Like a man has to work for something in order to appreciate it. As long as there are women and the majority of women are willing to give men anything, whether it be love, sex, or things, or compliments, any little thing can just make their head blow up. And I'm not saying this in the sense of, oh, don't compliment your person. I'm just saying, stop giving too much too soon. That's one reason why there's a lot of single people, because with that desperation that you don't know is desperation, it causes all of these young men to form an opinion on all women, because men don't use like their entire brain like women do. When they see that, oh, all of these women in the comments thirsty, and all of these women, I just met her yesterday and she got me over at her apartment the next day, cooking me a full blown dinner in her underwear. Like when they see so much of the same thing, they start to think, oh, she doing this for everybody. Oh, all women like this. All women easy. All. And yeah, we shouldn't care what men think, and a real man will have the discernment to be able to tell. But when you think of the majority, it's sad to say majority of men are not these God-fearing, like, stand-up men. It takes a woman having standards to mold him into the best version of a man he can be. And I think women don't understand our power that we have, and not necessarily power in the sense of dominating, but the influence that you have as a woman, and why God made Eve for Adam as a helpmate, and the power you have to influence this man to bring out the man in the little boy that's in him. So when women understand our power and we stop being so thirsty, and we let a man find his wife instead of trying to find a husband, I think we'll have better just results all around in the single dating market in general. And it won't be always no good men out here. When you be a good woman, you will understand that if we're all holding ourselves accountable, you would attract better groups of people. And also with men as well, men just, they don't have good discernment. So like I said, a lot of men don't want the quote unquote good woman. A lot of men, they may be attracted to the good woman, but when they see like, oh, it's strict over here, like it's a lot of rules over here, they can't take it. And like I said, they give up easily, and they just like, well, it's easier out there, so why do this when it's easier out there? But it makes it easier for the woman with standards, because if a man can give up that easily, he was never your husband to begin with. So if we could just understand as women, if we just get some standards about ourselves, single is not a curse. Singleness is not a bad thing. Sometimes you're single because God is saving you for something better, or he's making you better before he gets you to better. So stop thinking of singleness as such as a bad thing, and start thinking of it as, this is just my season to grow alone and by myself and enjoy this time. Because once you get married or you get in a long-term relationship with somebody, you ain't gonna ever have that independence anymore. You're gonna forever be codependent and, interdependent or whatever on each other and one another. So enjoy your time alone and just become the best version of you. However, you do have to remember that once you intertwine with somebody else, their life become a part of your life. And a lot of people are complaining about being single but not knowing if you're even ready for that next level of really truly sharing your life with somebody else. But as women, we just got to really understand our influence and get off of social media. Like they say, I'm always going to put that in there, like social media is not real life. Stop comparing your life to other people's lives. Live your life, live your truth. Choose people based on who you love, who you care for, and who will advance your life in whatever way that looks like for you. And stop worrying so much about all of the content and how this girl getting treated, because when she turn off those cameras, you don't know what she's facing behind closed doors. And once you understand your power as a woman, your influence, your strength, and keeping your standards where your standards should be, you will either meet men that are for you or runaway men that was never for you to begin with. And that should feel good that you can be you, have standards, and you get rid of people so quick because you don't waste years of your life on nothing. I would rather be by myself and spend some time, years alone, to advance myself, grow spiritually, mentally, financially, however I want to grow by myself alone, than to waste good years of my life on somebody that was never intended to be for life. So I wouldn't even call it a single epidemic. I think we're in a selfish epidemic because people don't know how to be in a partnership, and people don't know how to be alone, because even when people are alone, they're so money hungry that people just think that success and money is the answer to everything, just to find out when you get all of that stuff, you still feel empty because you have no love to go along with it. But you would if you stop being so desperate. So I wouldn't even call it a single epidemic. I would call it a desperation epidemic. And a desperation epidemic is unfortunately affecting everybody, the desperate and the not so desperate. Because if you're desperate, that desperation is so strong and you sending it out everywhere, and everybody fighting for love, fighting for attention, pick me here, pick me there, men and women. Nobody getting picked at the end of the day, because it's all a facade. Nobody being who they truly are. Nobody being authentic. So because nobody's being authentic, everybody's just acting off of desperation and off of lack. It's leaving everybody single and lonely, because God created us to be with people and for a community, but the work of the devil, the work of Satan, to keep us divided. You got all these podcasts, all these voices telling you, oh, women only do this, women only do that, generalizing the sexes, and it's just keeping us divided, and nobody understanding that it is the work of the enemy. Like, if it's not positive content about relationship and love, or giving you the real and raw, it's something you shouldn't even be consuming, if we're being honest. But hope that gives y'all just a better idea. I talked off the top of my head, and I could think of a whole bunch of reasons why we are so single in this generation, even with us being so immature, more immature than our parents' generations. And I think we're growing up much slower. A lot of people try to blame it on COVID, but I honestly think it's just the difference in generations. Like, we're just moving much slower because we're much more selfish, and we're just much more money driven and money hungry, and nobody is considerate or willing to, work together as a community. But it all stems from desperation, because like I said, no matter how successful a person is or not, I can tell everybody want love, but nobody's attracting it because they're going about it the wrong way. But y'all know I'll be back because I be talking. Peace.